Hey guys, what's up? Jordan Norell here, making my daily video on circumcision. Here in Chicago, the Windy City. Hopefully it's not so windy you can't hear what I'm saying. I missed my video yesterday, and today I'm feeling low energy, a little out of it because of sleep deprivation and not eating my normal diet. And not sure what I want to say today really, so just kind of riffing here. Yeah, you know, I don't know, man. Circumcision is weird. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing that our society does this. The whole culture has normalized it, and we think that it's okay to cut off part of our children's genitalia for no reason, for no real reason. You know, we've constantly been coming up with all these excuses and justifications for why it's okay. But it's fucking weird, the fact that we're constantly trying to figure out, okay, why is it okay? Why is it okay that part of my dick was cut off? There must be some reason it's okay. And we come up with these things, and it's like, oh, it's okay for this reason and this. And maybe it was even good. Yeah, it was good. It was good. And you can just see the psychology of it playing out. All of these weird fucking justifications and weird shit, man. The psychology of it's super interesting and super, I think, representative of the United States, because, you know, and not just the United States, but the human condition. We hide from our pain, we hide from the things that hurt us. We push them out of our consciousness. And I think about myself, and am I pushing things out of my consciousness? You know, I always do that. I always self-reflect. If I'm seeing this thing in the world, what does that show in me? Am I avoiding my own pain? Of course I am. We all are. In some ways, we're managing our reality by focusing on the things we feel like we can control. I feel like I can control circumcision. I feel like I can end it single-handedly if I wanted to. I know I'm pompous and arrogant, and I don't mind that. But you know, I don't feel like I can control my own relational life. I don't feel like I can, I don't like these glasses. It feels too impersonal. I don't feel like I can, control my own romantic life, and so I pretend like it's not a problem. You know, met with a chick today I used to think was the love of my life, and lives here in Chicago. And you know, I tell myself she's definitely not, and she isn't. And the only way I can control that is to make that decision that I actually don't want that. I actually don't care about sex or romance or having a family. I tell myself these things because by negating that, by letting go of that, I can control other parts of my life. And other people say, well, I don't care about circumcision. I'm glad. I think it's great. Because if they did, it might destroy their lives like it has for me. And so I understand that, because I can see how in my own life I'm repressing my own feelings, my own desires, and using that as a way to manage what I'm trying to generate, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's that we are all limited. You know, I think the only thing that's wrong is being unconscious about it, not knowing that you're doing it. That's the problem. That's where the problem comes in. Because you can make a choice not to care about your sexuality and your sexual pleasure, but pretending like you care about sexual pleasure and like you want it, and then also pretending, and then using that to say, okay, circumcision doesn't matter because I care about sex, and I don't want to think about that may have hurt me. I don't know. Interesting thoughts. Interesting thoughts there. You know, let me know, you guys, if you have any things you want me to make a video on, and I may or may not do it. But if you have a topic you'd like me to cover and address, I like talking about psychology, circumcision, foreskin, regeneration, solutions. I like solutions. I'm a solution-oriented human being. I believe that every problem can be solved if you're willing to throw enough resources at it. Everything can be solved. Some things take longer than others. Take more resources. And you know, it is really a matter of what are you willing to throw your life at. Do you care enough about this issue to end circumcision? If you spend all day every day strategizing, talking to people, learning, figuring it out, you can do it. But most people don't care that much. Most people want to have a sex life, a romantic life, have a social life, work towards some kind of other career or money. You know, they have other things that draw them away and make it so. You know, I believe if you spend twice as much time on something, you can be about 1,000,000 times better at it. I mean, the average athlete who goes to the Olympics only exercises about 2 times as much as the average athlete. It's only twice as much. It's not that much more, you know, 6 hours a day rather than 3 hours a day, or 5, whatever it is, 5 hours rather than 2.5. When I was in high school, we had cross country, and you know, had 2-3 hour workouts every day. If I would have done just twice that much, it could have been in the Olympics. And it's the same thing here, you know, there's the big leagues and the minor leagues. If you want to be a big league player, you have to do more, but not that much more. It's what you're willing to sacrifice. And if you do 3 times as much, then you're Michael Phelps. That's my plan. I'm the Michael Phelps of circumcision. Not that I'm gonna like be that good at circumcising that I'm Michael Phelps. I'm gonna Michael Phelps of Intactivism. I think that's what I was looking for. I'm the Michael Phelps of Intactivism. Watch out, motherfuckers. I mean, yeah, you know, that's what I realized today. It's like I really don't give a shit about anything else in my life right now. I exercise, I try to be in shape, I try to take care of myself spiritually and emotionally and financially. But those things are all really just to support myself in being a stronger intactivist and being a stronger, you know, it's interesting. I don't actually like the word intactivist that much. I don't know why, I don't know what it is. But I've seen this among some of the top intactivists, is that they don't actually use the word intactivist. A few of them. You know, Brendan Murata is not an intactivist. Eric Kloppers, I haven't never heard himself refer to himself as an intactivist, I don't think. Enzo Ayala is, I think, one of the most underrated forces that exists today in ending circumcision, and he certainly isn't an intactivist. He's just trying to find the solution. But in the process, I think it's very possible he will actually be the one who ends it. Very possibly. Intactivism, you know, it's got this whole culture around it that's very interesting, because it's when I think of an intactivist, there's a certain image I think of, and there's some positive associations with it, there's some negative associations. And I'm very aware that right now, as I'm saying this, I don't want to say the negative ones, because a lot of people who watch this probably call themselves intactivists, and but you know, it's a very, very traumatized, a lot of intactivists have had a lot of trauma from this, and I think are very in a hard place because of it, and that, you know, trauma can fuck you up pretty bad, make you very angry, make you very, very depressed, very it's hard to be logical and calculated and strategic and effective sometimes when you're traumatized, because the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that understands how to do shit, just shuts down. It doesn't work as well when you're in that traumatic fight or flight or freeze state. You can't function at the same level of consciousness, at the same level of mental capacity. Your ability to plan can be diminished, which is certainly not a good thing. You know, that's one reason I'm so passionate about healing work, about doing healing work, is because trauma makes you less effective, or at least it can, but it also makes you really passionate, really really empathetic. There's a lot of growth factors associated with trauma. You become more loving, you become more able to feel and see other people's pain and wanting to stop that pain. You become more intelligent, you get better at thinking about shit, because you know, trauma makes you always on guard. It opens your mind to the world and seeing the horrors of it in a way that you may never otherwise have seen. And with that enormous responsibility comes enormous power. You know, they say with great power comes great responsibility. Well, yeah, sometimes there's a correlation there. I'm not sure what the causal link is, but if you are really embrace that trauma and realize that someone's got to stop it from happening, then I do believe that you gain enormous, unbelievable power, because the greater your awareness of the horror of the world, that's very motivating when you see that. Sorry, scratching my nose with my phone because I'm a rebel. And I see 100% of the trauma in the world, at least I try to. But yeah, I got sidetracked there. So I think healing is important because you can integrate all of those gifts of compassion, of empathy, of empowerment, of insight and understanding of the world. But then you integrate that you integrate that also with resilience. Resilience meaning that you are able to basically deal with shit, deal with shit that comes your way. You know, when you're in a traumatized state, you're constantly, when you start to get a little bit of intensity, you back off or you use some coping mechanism and you try to deal with it somehow. And because of that, you're not able to really fully engage with what is there. But resilience is gained through, really largely through the healing work. Because through the healing work, through doing some kind of psychological, emotional work, activism itself can be a healing. But by doing whatever you do, you start to face that trauma more and more, and you turn towards that trauma inside yourself. You feel that pain fully and allow the gifts of it to integrate fully. And eventually, there's nothing you can't face. You know, there's your consciousness is able to hold the whole world inside of it, the whole of your experience of the world, because there's nothing that you need to hide from yourself anymore. You can just face the horror of it all and realize that you're limited and that you don't have infinite power to control everything all the time, but you have as much power as you have, which is again directly correlated to how big your world is, how much of the world you can see and how much of it you let in. I feel like I'm rambling here, which is kind of the point. This is my ramble. There's 2 days worth of videos right here, so it has to be longer. Yeah. You know, it's important to play, it's important to have fun, it's important to be the kind of person that you want to be. To ask yourself that every day, every second of every day. Figure out, what is it that I want to embody in my life that will make me happy, that will make me feel good? Because the better you feel, the more you can engage with life, the more you can be effective, be your full self in every moment and do shit. So I think that's a good question to ask yourself is, who do I want to be? What would I enjoy being in my life? And for me, I love play, I love having fun, I love love, and it's not about finding someone I love or doing activities in which I can play so much as it is being play, being love in every single interaction and aspect of how I live my existence. You know, like right now, I can play just by using a funny voice or by being in my body and feeling the way that I move my head and have non-verbal expression of my being, of how I want to be. How do I want to be? Can I express that in the way that I am a being? And you know, it's all a work in progress. That's the thing to remember here. It's like, this video isn't that good. It's a piece of shit. Like most of my videos, they're shit. They're just, I mean, they've gotten better definitely, but they're all still like, I'd say they started out at like maybe a 2 out of 10. Now they're maybe like a 3 or 4 out of 10. The really good ones are at 4 at the absolute most. Like, that's not good, man. This one's probably like a 2, and that's, but if I didn't make this video, if I was like, well, I don't feel like I could do anything right now because I'm not in a good enough state to do that, then I wouldn't achieve anything in my life ever. We have to just keep on doing what we want to do as best we can and moving towards being better and better. Slowly, throughout time, we will improve. But it's so much about it's so much about how prolific you are. You know, you always want to do your best, you always want to give as much quality as you can, but if you want to become a tennis star, you also have to play tennis like 8 hours a day, you know? If you want to become good at talking, then you should talk a lot, and you should constantly be paying attention to the quality of it, giving yourself that feedback of, am I being who I want to be right now, and doing your best to be that person. But then it takes so much time, and you know, that's why you have to find your passion. What do you love about life? Who do you want to be? And then embody that, because if you're doing what you love, you will love what you do. That was profound right there. If you're doing what you love, then you will be able to do it 8 hours a day, and you love every fucking second of it, even if you're broke as shit and it's hard to make it happen. You know, it'll come together eventually, because you'll just keep on doing it because you love it. What do you love doing in life? And I've said this before, you know, I'm running out of new things to say for these videos, so I'm just trying to say the same things better, which is, I think, a good use of time. But you know, what's your skill? What's your talent? What do you love doing? And contribute that skill to Intactivism. It could be literally anything. You can use anything to make this happen. It could be music. It could be poetry. It could be activism. It could be education. There's a million different skills that you could figure out how to use for this. If you don't know how to use your skill to make this work, come and talk to me. We'll figure it out. I know there's a way for anybody to do anything to make this happen. So, ooh, that's cool. This is where I am. I'm in like Chinatown, because there's a lot of, well, because it said Chinatown on the map. That's part of why I think that. But also because there's like lots of Chinese things and Chinese people. Like that. Chinese. There's a lot of interesting conspiracy theories and things of that nature surrounding circumcision, and it's really interesting to hear some of them because they're all interesting. I remain fiercely agnostic because that's who I am. I believe I can never know the absolute truth, because no one can know the absolute truth about everything all the time. You can be a Christian or a Muslim or some other ism, and you can try to say, I know the truth, I know what's what, but you're fooling yourself then. It's like, that's not really quite it. It's more like you want that to be true, and you're going to live your life assuming it is true, as if it's true, because that's the best thing you've got. I think that's stupid as shit, because, no offense to anyone and everyone who's religious, but you know, I'll do my best based on the best probabilities that I see, and live from a life of love, because that's what I see. You know, whether or not any religion is true, I do believe God is love. I believe love is the highest principle of the universe, and if I follow that principle of the universe and am a loving creature, if I am love itself, enacting itself through this creature, then I'm probably going to do some good stuff as best I can. Maybe I'll go to hell for that, for trying to make the world a good place, and maybe I'm hedonistic in a weird way, and deceitful and prideful. Yeah, you know, it's so important to question our world, to look at it and see and figure out what's what's going on as best we can, and then live in alignment with our best estimate and understanding of how the universe works. It's loud, and that's what I'm doing. You know, I realize that darkness, that trauma, that pain is the best source of fuel in the universe. And so I'm happy to suffer what I consider the worst thing possible, genital mutilation, being a human being who's obsessed with sex, at least was obsessed with sex more than anything. You know, at this point I'm dead. I don't exist anymore. I literally have no sense of self. I have no personal desires or anything really. Sounds nice, right? Jordan is dead, which is great. And so I believe that embracing that and going into that deeper and deeper and deeper, as I still do every day, lots of trauma healing stuff continuously, which is facing that trauma, which is experiencing all the pain and darkness of that trauma. And the further I go into it, the more energy I have, and that's a very important part of my worldview. I learned it from Eckhart Tolle, and you know, he was depressed most of his life, and finally it literally obliterated his ego and everything that he was. And he's one of my great teachers, and I believe that if we really dive into our darkness and experience it consciously, all the way, that's like the best thing that we can possibly humanly do. At least one of the best things. Has been one of the best things for me, and I continue to do it until there's absolutely totally nothing left. And I feel like I'm getting there. And as you can see, you know, I think my content has gotten a lot better because of that. As I've done that, it continues to just make me, you know, I have so much more energy, I have so much more here-ness, presence, and ability to really engage, because there's not this part of me that's split off and trapped in this darkness and trying to suppress that, because I embrace it as the totality of reality, experiencing that pain so deeply that you know, it takes over my life. It takes over who I am in a good way. The transformation takes over who I am. And so I think that's a good thing. I could literally do this all day. I love talking. I love thinking about this stuff and improving my speaking skills. You know, every time I do this, I get a little bit better. And I love to do it all day until I'm just like the best of the best of the best, better than the rest. At your behest, I will end circumcision. Just kidding. It's a collaborative effort, you know. I couldn't do any of the shit that I do if Marilyn Milos hadn't created the entire groundwork, and if James Lowen hadn't helped spread that through media, and if so many people hadn't supported me along the way, if there wasn't all this trauma healing stuff that I could just go out and do, if no one had created that, all those frameworks and all those techniques, and a million billion other things. And that's what we do for each other as a human society, is we create all these things and we push against each other, and then we build together eventually the world that we want to live in. And sometimes that means taking 8 million steps backwards so that it can take 10 million steps forwards, which is what circumcision is. Because I think if we heal it, I think if we use that trauma, I think if we use that that pain, that pleasure deficit, that if we transform that, it's like you're in this deep dark hole and you have to learn to climb out of that hole, but it's so deep and dark you have to become a superhuman just to climb out of that hole. But then once you're out of the hole, you're a superhuman and you can do lots of cool shit. I don't know, just riffing here, riffing with my spliff. I don't have a spliff. I wish I did though. It's Chicago, so the weed isn't legal here. Yeah. I hope you guys didn't watch this because it's not a good video. There's a lot of good ideas here and good stuff, but people don't really care about this kind of content very much when I make it. From my experience, even though I think it's a million times more important than my other content in the long haul. But it's not very circumcision centric. It's too meta, you know? People don't. It's like, give me something I can do something with right now. People do something with this right now, you know? Think about your life. Take a day off and think about your life for a day. Just think about the universe and your life and everything. And do that. You know, that's gonna have an ROI, return on investment, of 1,000,000-fold what anything else could do. If you take just an hour right now and go and dive into yourself, dive into your worldview. How do you see things? What don't you understand? What could you figure out? What do you want in life? Who are you as a person? What do you believe in? These questions create the framework to do something meaningful. And the problem is so many people don't consider these things. I think someone just got shot. I'm here in Chicago, as I said. It's pretty common. And yeah, figure it out. You know. Alright, I'm done. Hope you guys are doing well. Love to you. Love a Jew. And circumcision. Jewish people are my favorite people in the world, besides the Irish. They're great. They're really good people. They just, you know, like I say, they have a lot of trauma, and I think that makes them better. But ultimately, we need to bring that trauma to light, and we need to stop it. Because it's not good. It's not good. Yeah. Peace out, guys. Have a happy day, happy year, happy life. Do something meaningful with your life. Make a difference in the world. What's the world you want to live in? Create that world. Do it. What's stopping you? Is it really not worth spending 20 hours a day living the life you want to live because you have to fucking not watch an extra hour of happy hour or whatever? I don't watch TV. I don't know what's on anymore. Like, really, that's how stupid it is. It's like, well, we could create utopia, but The Simpsons are on. Fuck. I could be saving a baby from genital mutilation, you know, probably 10 an hour. And if I spent more hours a day, I could probably save the end the whole thing single-handedly. But then again, you know, I want some chocolate cake. It's that dumb. It's like, really? Really? Really, guys? Really? Alright, I'm done now, for real. And by that, everything I say is a lie. I hope you know that. I'm literally Hitler. That wasn't a lie, though. I'm literally the reincarnation of Hitler. I'm just tricking you all. Watch out. I'm underground. Turtleneck underground. Make a sound. I should be a rap. What would you guys think? Let me know this. Here's a question I have for you. Would you appreciate me more if I was a rapper? And it's a question for today. Do you think I should continue being an Intactivist? Like, YouTuber? Or should I be like an Intactivist rapper? Like, what would you prefer? I need to do a rap so you have like a sample, I understand, but it's not gonna be good. Like, you know, I have to do that for another 150 days to get to the point where it's like, oh shit, that's what he's actually got. You know, it takes a while to get up to that level. I think I could be like the top rapper on the radio, and I'll just be talking about penises, and people will be like, holy shit, this is how it ends? This is the end of circumcision as a fucking rapper? Like, wouldn't that be cool? I have these ideas literally all day. Like, what if we just sent a letter to every doctor who circumcises and like explain in detail all the shit that we want to explain about it, and be like, hey, this is all you need to know about it. You make $500 a day on mutilating babies. So give us $500 as repair, and if 10,000 doctors did that, that'd be a lot of money, and we could do. That'd be like, how much would that be? That'd be $5 million. There you go. Fund foreskin regeneration right there. That's an idea. I don't know. I feel like this is deteriorating. Not that it was good to start with. I'm gonna go now. I hope you guys are good. Do what I said. Think about your life. What do you want to do with your life? And do that. Like, it seems pretty binary, as Gary Vaynerchuk would say. It's pretty simple. But that doesn't make it any less profound. What do you want to do? What world do you want to live in? Create that world. Just do it. It's that simple. You know, dedicate your life to that. See that vision of that future. Know that you have infinite power, relatively infinite power. You can do a lot. We're at the greatest leverage point in the history of humanity. I can promise you that. The internet was founded 30 years ago. 20 years? Something like that. And that's the most important thing in human history. Also, we're in the United States, most of us. We're the Western world, at least. And that's like kind of a big deal. Most rich and influential country in the history of the world. At the greatest leverage point time in history, you can do a lot of fucking good. You just need to believe in yourself. You need to know that you can do that, and you need to see the vision of how the world could be, and then commit to doing that thing and making it happen, and realize that if you live in that purpose, you will be infinitely more happy than if you watch an extra hour of the Happy Days or whatever. Eat an extra chicken kebab sandwich. Now, if there's anything wrong with those things, it's just like shift a little bit towards that every single day. And it can be very gradual. But also go all in sometimes. Like I said, take today off and literally just think about your life. I'm repeating myself now, but it's important. Take today off, think about your life, take a day off this weekend or whenever, and think about what do you want to do with your life, and do that thing. And just do it. That's it. Peace out, guys. I will talk to you all again probably tomorrow. I'm now going to my brother's wedding tomorrow and a bunch of other shit, and I just have a lot of shit right now. So I'll try to make another video tomorrow. This one was 40 minutes, so that's like 4 videos though. So what do you want from me? Alright. Love y'all. Love is all. I love y'all. Love is all. Love is all. Peace out. Peace, love, foreskin.